to woman, or woman to men.
Man to woman.
From penis to vagina.
These are some of the insane priorities that organization has been spending money on. $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces, $70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland, $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru.
And no money for mentally ill people and the homeless populations that are riding the trains in Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, San Francisco. And no money for that young man on the south side of Chicago who has a business idea, but he cannot get the funding. He has to go through so much red tape to get a business loan for $20,000 or $30,000 that could literally interject cash into his community. Yet, we have $1.5 million for a DEI production in Serbia, $47,000 for a transgender operation in Colombia. Our government is giving out money like this. Millions of dollars to abortion clinics in Africa. $1 trillion for climate control research. And yet we never have any money to house the mentally ill and homeless populations in San Francisco, Chicago, New York, LA. You know, one time I was working with the homeless people in Chicago, and there was a young lady who was mentally ill. She was in her mid-20s. And I took her to the hospital because she was having an episode. Actually, didn't take her to the hospital, but the ambulance came, and I went to the hospital to follow up. And within 3 days, they had released this child. She was in her 20s, early 20s, 22, 23, back out into the cold elements of Chicago. Now, by her being an adult, I wasn't able to really follow up and prevent this from happening because I wasn't her legal guardian. But she ended up going back into the streets. And of course, in a couple of days later, she had another episode because she needed a place to stay, to get better. Because when you're out there battling the elements, battling the cold, trying to figure out where you're going to stay and sleep, and you're dealing with all the sounds and the noises of the city and also the violence, and you're always on edge. So your brain is releasing certain chemicals that's causing you to kind of like be mentally ill. That person needs a bed or a place to rest their head so that their brain can begin to heal. They need to be in a facility like that for maybe 3 or 4 months where they can just rest and not be shocked every 1 hour because they're on the train and someone's trying to rob them and they never really sleep. You don't get sleep on a train. Who can really go to sleep and go into deep sleep on a train? Very few people. And she needed that, but they kept releasing her out into the streets of Chicago. And so when I confronted the doctor and I asked why can't they just house her or put her in a long-term mental health facility where she can get the treatment that she needs, the professional treatment, where she can rest and get back on her feet. And the doctor looked at me and said, well, to be honest with you, sir, I would love to keep her here, but we just don't have the money to house her or people like her. And I was, be honest with you, my heart dropped. I couldn't believe it. Our country is very, very wealthy. And now you have Elon Musk and the Department of DOGE who are letting us know where some of our money is being spent and sent to. Places in Serbia and in Colombia and in Africa. And I'm not against us giving. We are a wealthy nation. But why come we never seem to have any money to help our people out? Homeless people are our people too. Mentally ill people are our people too. Young Black people on the south side of Chicago are our people too. And we never seem to fight for them. But we're always in an uproar and fighting for people that are in another country. And I'm not saying that we shouldn't fight for other people that are disadvantaged and that are going through hard times. But stop being hypocritical and telling the American people that we don't have any money to help people out. Stop telling us these lies.
Men to woman, or woman to men.
Man to woman.
From penis to vagina.
And this is why I'm so happy that Donald Trump has been reelected. For those of you out there who are always wondering, why am I so passionate and emotional about this administration? Well, here are just a few reasons why. So what do you think out there? Do you think that what Elon Musk and the Department of DOGE is doing is right? You think he's on to something? You think that we should basically use some of that money for American purposes like the homeless and mentally ill, why don't you go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section? I welcome them. So at this moment, I would like to thank the 850 new subscribers that have subscribed to my YouTube podcast, Zero Ambiguity. This YouTube channel is growing and it's only been around for a couple of months. And I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Keep it coming. Also, I appreciate those who comment, view, share the material. Thank you so much for doing so. Until the next time, see you next time on Zero Ambiguity. Bye.